Did you say you have one lens only? You're in the right place. Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Thomas Love here from beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia, and today we will see together how to tell a story with street photography. Why is that? Imagine how many people are walking downtown every single day in your city. If you're just snapping pictures here and there, showing buildings without a particular subject in your mind, you will be just snapping postcards, which you can find on Google already. What will make the difference? Of course, if you tell a story. And how can you do that? Pick up a hero and you will be halfway done. Your hero might be literally anything. A person, an animal, a bus passing by, literally anything. But pick up one. Can you imagine a book without its main character? Hardly, right? And in photography, it is exactly the same thing. In case you want to deep dive into the details, you can find all the explanation and plenty of examples in my book, Tell a Story with Street Photography Down to Earth, available at your local bookstore or on Amazon for your convenience. First thing first, choose your hero. And now that you have your main subject, you want to show the observer what was happening in the very moment you were there. This is what you are sharing with the world, the incredible synchronicity of events that led you there in that very moment to witness that scene. Let's go one step further and start considering composition and framing. With street photography, it's a bit more challenging than in other kind of photographies because you cannot pick up the elements to put in your composition, but you can decide how to frame the elements that you are observing. The key here is to choose the right point of view. Now let's do an exercise together. Choose an object, literally anything. It can be a chair if you are indoor, or a bench, a lamppost, any object if you are outdoor. And start walking toward and around and aside and behind that object before you come back to your initial position. Now please do the same thing, but snap a picture every step that you move toward, aside, beside, behind, and coming back from it. The aim here is not to have the perfect exposure or the perfect framing, it's for you to have several pictures to be put aside for you to see how the story changes every time that you move and you change your point of view. You are always portraying the same object, but which frames gathered your attention and are more relevant than other ones? With photography in general, you are transforming a 3D reality into a 2D image. So what do we do to preserve the sense of depth that we perceive with our eyes? We use the depth of field and we focus on three different levels: the foreground, the middle ground, and the background. Being a street photographer, it's no excuse for a poor framing, so you might be accustomed to the rule of thirds and all of the other rules of composition. I want you to be aware of them so that you can decide whether you want to apply them or not. Remember to check the perimeter of your frame, because half a person, half an animal or a car, halfway in or out, it just looks weird. So I want you to decide if you want to have that element in your picture or not. What you can do? You can just wait for that person to walk past. Also, some other items are to be considered disturbing elements, like a car passing in between you and your subject while you're shooting, or lamppost. Try to remove these disturbing elements, and if you cannot move them, change your point of view. Another thing that you need to consider and has a dramatic impact on your end result is at what height you want to position the horizon line. Is it just in the middle? Is it 1/3 from the top, meaning you're giving more emphasis to what is happening at the ground level, or is it at 2/3 from the top, so you're giving more emphasis to what is happening in the sky? Also important is the camera height. 90% of the pictures that you see every day are taken by people who just stop by, position the camera in front of their eyes and snapped a picture. I like to take the best practices out of different disciplines, and if there is something that we learn from wildlife photographers or macro photographers is that having the camera 8 at the same eye level as your main subject creates a bond, a connection with your main subject. So adjust the camera height accordingly. If it's a person passing by on a bike, that would be a bit higher than your eyes. If it's a toddler or an animal, that would be dramatically lower, so you will have to crouch, to jump, to go on a staircase. Adapt your height accordingly and it will change the effect on your picture. We are enriching our street photography with more and more elements to be taken into consideration before snapping a shot. We're now ready to introduce a new element you might have heard of already, which is leading lines. What are the leading lines? Anything, a street, buildings, many elements aligned and repeated like bikes in a rack, all the trees along a street. They suck your attention towards the end, and you can use this factor to your advantage to emphasize the scene that is happening right there. So these were roughly the main aspects to be considered before snapping a shot, at least in my humble opinion. Please comment down here, let me know what you think about it, if you want me to explore further and what other aspects you want me to explore. And if you got any value out of this video, please like it, subscribe to the channel, click on the bell so you will get a notification any new video comes out, and thank you for your time. I guess I'll see you later.